So finally another update video. I know it's been a while since I did a video only because I had a problem with my computer, and I still have the problem until I upload this video. And so I can't really edit videos, so I can't like put any videos together, so I'm gonna kinda make this one video. So let's start off with the 67 Suburban 10. I finally got this one going again. I did end up getting that new carburetor and putting that on it. And it runs good. I need to clean the lens. Runs good, starts up right away. The battery just kind of sucks, so I just have to charge that whenever I use it. Not a big deal. And then here we have the 77 18.6. I actually thought it was a 16 or SS18 when I got it. Turns out, looking at it, it's actually a 18.6 because of that number plate there, and then the or I guess the shifter plate and the number plates on the firewall. So that tells me it's an 18.6. Actually, when I looked up the number, that's when I'm like, oh, 18.6. Of course, it's got a golf cart seat that's all ripped up sitting on it, and it's got just an engine sitting in there that's blown up, so that's just sitting in there so I could say, oh, it's got an engine in it, even though it doesn't. So here we've got the 76 SS16. I put a 3-point hitch on the back of this, and I also put the grater blade on the back of it. And the next is the 74 SS16. This is still doing very good with that 14 horse or 13.5 horse golf cart motor. Wow, probably one of the coolest engine swaps I think I've done. Just not really a normal setup. Can't even remember because it's been so long. Now I did do build videos on this one besides obviously the video that I did. Of course the computer wasn't working right still at the time, so I never put the video together. But basic setup, you got a starter generator that's hooked up backwards because these are on backwards, or the starter generator, because the normal ones would be on this side, you know, but these starters spin backwards because of how the clutch has a pulley on it. So I just mounted that on there. And then of course you have that giant unsafe pulley hanging out the side, but it is what it is. And then the hood still doesn't close right, kind of. And I can't do this one-handed. Usually you can push it forward. Alright, I'll just get that when I shut the camera off. I don't want to break something, so I'll just wait. So the ST75 ST16, I got a nose cone from someone, and then I put that on here. It's actually one of the nicer ones I think I've gotten. It just has a crack here, and then of course the bottom broke, so I just built a wood piece and I fixed it. Put a brand new 212 in there because I bought like 4 of those recently, I think. And this is one of them. You'll see the next one soon. 73 ST12. This one, what did I do? I adjusted the clutch because it wasn't quite right, and now it actually works perfect. Probably one of the better working tractors I have. It runs nice and smooth clutch. It doesn't vibrate or anything, just perfect. So I don't even know what made me did that, but I just did it and it fixed it. So then we have the 77 16.6 twin that was made into a single. What did I do? Took the 3-point hitch off of that, and then I put, of course, the dozer blade still on the front. This is basically the permanent setup on that one. AT&T Hydro, I took whatever attachment that was on the back off, and I put the plow on the back because I figured the Hydro with the Onan and the Big Egg tires are the perfect combination for that. And it turns out it's the perfect combination for it because it is awesome. I mean, you can put that plow all the way down, engine idling, and then it works perfect. It doesn't even take a whole lot of power out of it. So I even thought since this is the biggest plow that they had, because I checked it out, not really sure what size it is, but I know this is the bigger one. And I knew that when I got it, he didn't have any of the smaller ones. I'm like, might as well just get the bigger one. It just needs more pulling power for it, which is fine. Just use this tractor for it. And right where the throttle is right now, right at about those red lines there, that's where the throttle stays all the time. that's like a high idle. It idles really good right there, and it has a good amount of power right there. I don't like revving it any higher just because it's an old engine, and I don't want to blow it up, because I've blown up 3 other Onins in my time just by using it like you should, and then I got this one that runs perfect. I don't want to wreck it because I really like it, so just gonna leave the throttle as is, don't touch it. Usually it starts without the choke, which technically the choke is on. I adjusted the carburetor so the choke is halfway out when it runs good. So when you start it with the choke halfway out, and then as the engine kind of warms up, you just slowly push it in. And then if you go to a really low idle, you have to pull it all the way out. So it's one of those things you just have to pull the choke in and out to make it run, but no big deal. And I still haven't figured out the headlights. I've spent a long time trying to figure this out, and I still can't figure it out. So they're super dim. Of course, they show up really bright on the camera, but they're really dim. They only get 6 volts apiece. They're wired perfectly normal. I don't get why it's divided in half. It's factory wiring going to it. I don't get it. But I don't know. Maybe eventually what I'll do is I'll just wire the thing right to the battery with a different switch and whatever, and then it'll get 12 volt. The Roper 20T got the David Bradley cultivator on it. Otherwise that's it on that one. Right now it doesn't have a battery in it because I put in that golf cart over there just for now so I can test run it. I'll get to that in a bit. Roper 18T, I finally, after probably, 2-3 years that I've had this thing, fixed that rear tire. Now if this dumb camera would focus. Finally fixed that rear tire. As you can see, it is actually inflated. Look at that. Because in every video the tractor's always tilted this way because the tire's flat, so what I would do is I just pump it up whenever I use it. And then now it's finally fixed. It turned out it actually just leaked around the bead, so it wasn't too bad to fix. Roper 16T with the Predator 301, or should I say 302, because if you look on the side here, this Harbor Freight has been known to kind of advertise their engines a little funny. They advertise the 6.5 as a 6.5, when if you actually look it up on the manufacturer's website, it's a 7 horse. And then they call this a 301. And right here, let's see if I can get the camera in here. It says displacement 302 cc. So I don't know what they're trying to do there, but I mean, if they put their numbers what they're supposed to be, they'd probably sell more. I mean, they advertise this as an 8 horse, and looking it up on the manufacturer's site, it's a 10 horse. And I guess it does say on the top of the box, but I mean, 2 horsepower, that's a big difference. Here's one of the 74 ST16s. I put a new engine in that, and I put a mower deck on it just to do who knows what. I just wanted another mowing tractor, I guess. And this one here, I've got big plans for this one. I'm hoping to do it soon, but not 100% sure exactly what to do. But I am going to put a 48 volt golf cart motor in it. And then of course the speed controller and all that type of stuff. I mean, it has enough power to move a golf cart like 24-25 miles an hour in the stock configuration. So I mean, it should be perfect for a tractor. It's a 3 horsepower motor, but they have high torque, so they have about the same power of a gas 13 horse engine. So I mean, it'll be basically like having a 420 in it. Just the only issue is mounting batteries. I'd like to keep all 6 batteries together, which would be ideal. So maybe 3 in the front, 3 in the back, but I mean, I don't want to have the batteries that far apart from running cables. So then the other thought was having 3 on this side and 3 on this side. I mean, that's awful heavy. And then the other thought would be a 36 volt, since I do have a 36 volt controller, is you just have 3 batteries mounted, maybe, who knows, let's see, if you mounted the motor, of course you'd have to figure out a mount for that somehow since the motors are round. You'd have the motor mounted here, or even back farther since it doesn't need a clutch. have the motor mounted here, and then possibly 3 wide on batteries, so just 3 12-volt batteries. And then what I would do is I'd get rid of the forward and reverse lever here and just have the high and low, because you really don't need all those gears with an electric because you can vary the speed. And then I'd probably, how would I do the throttle? Ideally I'd just mount the whole dang golf cart pedal on the floorboard, but that might look a little funny. Maybe there's a way I could hook the throttle actually up to the tractor one. That'd be kind of cool. But either way, I'd have to say within the next 6 months, I'd say, maybe a little bit more, that is going to be electric. Just something cool, something different. I have so many now, I might as well do something with them. So this is the GT18 single. It's looking a little different now. I'm not really going to say much because I did do a video on this, so stay tuned for that. The newly gotten GT18 twin. This has a Kawasaki FJ400 from a golf cart sitting in it. I just need to get the starter generator mounted, engine bolted in, and whatever else. And then I'll have another runner, probably fix the grill, mount the headlights, do whatever else, and then it'll be a good machine. Then back here in the attachment corner, we've got the wagon, we've got the mower decks, the tiller, shredder, the disc, which sucks. Wish I wouldn't have bought it, but oh well. It's not like the other attachments I have. I mean, I haven't really tried it out, so I shouldn't really say that it sucks. But I just pulled it behind the tractor and it didn't really do anything. But I did make this little hitch because I noticed a 3-point isn't really the best thing to use. So I bolted this little hitch on the end of it. And then maybe I'll just stack those weights on the back right there. Like put a bolt sticking up and then I can put all those weights on it. Maybe then it'll work better. I don't know for sure. The GT18 that I have thought of, since the decals fell off again, is to just slap GT19.9 on the side. So then that way I can say I have a 19.9. And then I have the GT18. I've got the single cylinder. I've got the 16. I'm just missing the GT18 hydro drive. Which, you never know. I might find one of those eventually. Well, I already found the Roper one, so. I mean, and the other thought would be to slap 19.9 on this one. However, this is an all original GT18, original paint, original sticker. I'd hate to wreck it when this is a cobbled up mess of like everything. I mean, the frame is from a 73 SS16. The rear frame is a GT18. The hood is from a GT18. The rear fenders are from a custom. The rear end is from a 76 SS16. Front axle's from I don't even know what. It's a big cobbled up mess of everything. There's really nothing making it be original. It's just a cool tractor. I had it a long time, so I don't know what exactly, but I'll just probably slap the decals on the side. That doesn't really make a difference as far as what it is. It just slaps it on the side, so eventually I can have a lineup with every tractor. I'm only missing 6 tractors and I'd have every single one. So even if it's not the real deal and it just has a decal on the side, I'm going to call it close enough because at least then it looks like I have them all. So here's a GT16 with the short hood, because that's all I had. And then lower grill and whatever sitting on it, along with some more golf cart parts sitting on it. 1971 Suburban 12. All the same as normal. Nothing's going to ever change on really any of these. Then we've got the 71 or 72, I forget what years they made these. SS14 with the rusty hood that I haven't did anything with yet. And then we've got the 72 Suburban 15 that got the right hood on it now. And then now we've got the 70 SS12. And then this has a huge engine in it. I mean, this is one of those, when I show you this, you're going to be wondering how I fit this under that hood. This thing is so big, this is bigger than a V-twin. Here we have a whopping 109cc 2 horsepower Briggs. This is one of them that I also got from Indiana. So I took the carburetor and fuel tank off of the other one that was missing quite a few parts. I put that on here, poured some gas in it, and it started right up. So I was kind of impressed with it, that it started really easy. I'm like, I'm going to mount it on a tractor and see what happens. And you know what, other than it's kind of worthless to pull anything, but I mean, if you're just going to drive it around, like, which is what most of these are for, then it's perfect. So there's no governor on it, so when you move the throttle full, so you got idle and then full, it's just wide open or idle. So usually when you're driving it, it just goes to wide open because it just takes that much power to run it. And then of course no air filter, so extra sand can get poured in the engine. And then we have, so never did say the year, but that's the 69 SS12. Then here we have another new one that you guys haven't really seen before. Other than the hood, I need to repaint the hood because I need to grind it down to bare metal and repaint it. So this is my 67 Super 12. So I now have all of the Super 12s. So we've got the 67. This one's kind of cool because it has a go-kart CVT clutch on the front. So right now the belt's super loose. So the engine is set to idle really, really low. So as soon as you put it up to like an idle, this will actually get tight. So you don't even have to use the clutch. Just another one of those cool things that I put on just to make it different than the rest. Then of course the headlights I haven't put in yet. And then here we've got the 68 Super 12. This one got a 3-point hitch put on it with homemade lift arms. Does the job. And here we've got one of my favorites, the 68 Hydro 12. Fixed the rear tire, that got a new rim on it, or I guess I used whatever rim. And I got a tube put in there because of course these tires can't run tubeless because they're all old. The 212 actually gained a little bit of power since I put it in there. Transaxle's still super loud. I mean, you can't even hear the engine because the rear end is so loud on the thing. I no idea why. It's probably has something to do with it sitting in the woods for several years with water in it. Might have a little something to do with it. Otherwise, this is about done. I just have to make the cover right there and paint that, which I feel kind of bad painting something. Of course, it is just a cover. What sucks is having to paint something because this is 100% all original paint. There's nothing on it that isn't original paint. So maybe if I painted it and then like stressed it so it looks all rusty to match the tractor, it would be fine. But I did clear coat this so it's looking shiny. Otherwise that's about it on that. Here we've got the 69 Suburban 12. I did get this going and I had to change the seat spring out, but I'm not going to say anything else because I did do a video on that too about the whole computer thing, so you'll see more of that soon. The Super 12 Special, not even going to say what year this is because it's a 71 Suburban 12 with a different hood on it and painted a different color. And then of course the forklift. What did I do? Oh, the fenders. Got the square fenders put on. Pan seat's going to come off and it's going to get a cushy one on it. The duals came off because they just stuck out and they didn't do anything. I've been asked in all the other videos to kind of do a little bit more of a walkthrough on this, and I've kind of failed on that, so I'm going to kind of do a little better job on this one. So here we've got a 24-volt scooter motor. This is just from a normal electric scooter with 2 wheels. That's just ran off. This is 5-inch pulley, and that goes to a 3-inch pulley on the motor here, and then of course just a belt. So that just runs to some, the battery wires that hooks to the winch up there. And then of course as soon as the engine starts, you hit this button and then it just raises it up. And then unfortunately you have to of course come up here and crank that to make it go down, which is dumb. And then of course how I mounted it to the tractor. This is some weird thing it came with me with a couple tractors I bought, and I ended up using it on this. Some 1/2-inch thick really heavy duty thing somebody made for the mule drive. So I just welded these huge pieces of angle iron that were expensive. They're also 1/2 inch thick on the front of it. And then it just works like that. I did buy a set of metal caster wheels to replace this board, just to minimize the drag, because if you think about it, whenever something gets set on here, all of the weight gets pushed back there, and that's why there's a piece of wood, is so that it wears the piece of wood out instead of the metal. This chain here is so that when you put something on here, you can strap it down to that little wimpy chain. And then these are just some flimsy things I put on there just to extend it so I can put normal size pallets on it. Otherwise, let me just pull this out. There's a closer look of how it's made. Not a very good design, so... But I mean, it does the job, and of course it's stuck. There. Does the job. It hasn't really broke, so I mean, I guess it's strong enough. I mean, look it up here. I mean, it's 1/4 inch bolts is all that's holding that. And I mean, it's bent there because somebody decided to lift up the whole dang golf cart. This golf cart here, I lifted up with it and moved it. So this is the part of the building here that I've kind of... Wow, it sounds different over here with my voice echoing. So of course, it's a big mess here of stuff, of carts. This wall here is going to be filled up with accessories and stuff, like tires, mirrors, whatever. This is going to be like my little showroom, kind of. Just some junk batteries from a gas conversion cart. Those batteries are so old, and yeah, they're done. This is one of my 3 carts that I have for myself. This was that beater cart. It had, I think it had a Robin engine in it. It had, what else? Well, it had a go-kart clutch. Still has a go-kart clutch, but it's kind of changed a little bit. So it's got a Predator 212 in it now, so I upgraded that. Still got a go-kart clutch. However, let me open this. It now has a gas rear axle in it. So that's right, it actually has reverse. Because before I did what a lot of people do, and you just take an electric cart, weld the clutch to the electric rear end, and then you go forward. There's no neutral or reverse. I found for 150 bucks a piece, I bought them both because why not? Gas rear axle that came with everything I needed. Already had part of a lift on it. It was just perfect to mount in here, and it all mounted up real nice. Works really cool. Works really good, I should say. I put a different body on here since it kind of gets beat on, and since I painted the old one, and whenever you would go against trees or whatever, it'd scratch the paint and there would be green showing through, which this way, if I scratch it, this factory paint's really durable, so it doesn't really do anything. I'll probably peel off the 2 there and maybe the sticker on the bottom, or leave it. And then of course I got the cool looking front cowl to match it with the broken piece right there. What else? This is one of the carts I just got. It's cool orange. It actually came from Hawaii. So, it'll probably end up getting... It's for sale as is right now, but it'll probably end up getting a light kit and probably a rear seat put on it. Sometimes carts like this, if I only get one in, I'll try to sell it just as is. And then, one other thing that I do with these is, of course, tires come off, they get pressure washed. They all get buffed and waxed so they look like they're brand new, because when we get them, they're not nearly this shiny, or they don't look nearly this good. This is a 2016. And then it's an electric, so of course it's got the original batteries, whatever. I do put speed codes on these because when I get them, they usually go like 10 or 12, which is really slow. And it's a 48 volt, so I figure they're only getting like 36 volts at the most to the motor. So I plug in this little programmer after you put this little black thing on it, which costs 22 bucks a cart to do. For me anyway to do. It costs more for anybody else, but you plug this into the cart just so it allows you to adjust the speed. You can adjust the speed and it goes 20. It has a lot of power after that instead of golf mode, which is very little power and it goes slow. And then of course, these are two gas carts that we did. We took the whole bodies off, put new ones on it. These are old tires, but they do the job. Well, they look like new. Here's another gas. Somebody, it's funny how whenever I buy a certain, because like let's say somebody wants gas carts. There's a lot of people that want gas carts, high interest in those. I go ahead and build a bunch of gas carts, and then suddenly nobody wants them. And then if I build a whole bunch of electric carts, and then nobody wants electric, they want gas. So it's like whenever I have a whole bunch of one thing, they always want the other. Because right now I have 3 gas and 1 electric. And now people want the electric, and now I have 3 gas. So it's weird. I've had up to 11 carts here at one time, so I've only got 4 right now for sale. And then before I get to the parts department, whatever else, this is a 2014 electric that we converted over to gas. We put a brand new engine, transmission, all that other stuff in it. Ignore that gas tank, that's just for testing. And the lawnmower battery. It's got a really freshly painted white body on it that looks really cool. This is going to get, of course, the brush guard, a rear seat, of course the roof and whatever else. Has turn signals that I thought were kind of cool. If you turn the lights on, you just got those little running lights. And then if you turn the headlights on, then you get the headlights, and then of course the turn signal. Oh yeah, now this is why I did not end up rebuilding the engine for the 16T. Is right there. Oh, and there. And up there. So I'm sure I'm gonna figure out what exactly to do. I'm not really big into rebuilding engines. So I just kind of left that, and I would have put the engine away, except I've been waiting to do this video, so I left it sit out. Parts department, I kind of rearranged this a little bit, and it needs to be bigger, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all these shelves over, probably to here, and then add on to it, because with all this golf cart stuff, it just gets so full in here. All the hoods, good assortment of fenders there. I've got 3 frames down there to put together miscellaneous tractors. The engine department, my electric 3-point hitch that I need a $30 actuator for, and then I can have an electric 3-point hitch. The arms are somewhere here for it. An electric motor for who knows what. They're just sitting there. Some floor mats, couple windshields, used windshields I may add. Running boards, all rusty or plastic and beaten up. Backrests, couple rear view mirrors, need to get some of those in. Need to order some more, I should say. Kind of running low on light kits at the moment because this is normally full. Of course, the normal parts for carts. That's funny. Parts for carts. The paint department, I need to put some paint back in here because it's all at the other side. Just a bunch of speed controllers. This one's bad. Miscellaneous wiring harnesses. Bunch of rear axles. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Chargers, I'm running a little low. I guess there's a little new one here, but I have one of those. A couple gas pedals, miscellaneous front axles and stuff there. I figured if I had a set of batteries, I can pretty much build a cart, set of batteries and a frame, and I can build a whole cart just with this parts department. Because I do have more than what I have here. Tractor transaxles. Sears fuel tanks, if anybody needs a Sears fuel tank. I have both original paint for every color, and then of course painted ones, and then of course rusty ones. Those are really cheap. And then of course a bunch of random fuel tanks. I do have the holders for those tanks. Don't really know what I'd want for one, but if anybody needs a Sears fuel tank, I'm sure we can work something out. So I've got plenty. I guess that's about it for the parts department. I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting. So something kind of new with my other 2 personal carts. So on my white one here, Wow, the video's getting to a half hour already. I sort of kind of blew up the old engine, so I went ahead and I put a 420 in it. This thing is really cool. I had to do a custom exhaust because of course the factory one wouldn't work. But what I did do, as you can see, the exhaust goes, you can see the flex pipe there. And then I used the factory muffler because it's nice and quiet for campgrounds. I put that here. I made this hole here a little bit bigger, just to have more airflow since it's a bigger engine. And then I guess that's about it. It was a direct bolt in because the 13 horse Kawasaki is basically the same thing as this Predator. Other than I did modify the clutch so that when the cart is sitting there idling, it doesn't move when it idles. So that it's not like you can idle. Because normally it's turn the key on, hit the pedal, and they go, which ain't really good for it. This blue one here, I think you guys remember it from one of the last videos. It was lowered way down, had the same tires on it. It was gas and went really slow and was horrible. I since, well, wow, I mean, don't even know where to start. Put a longer roof on it, put a rear seat on it. This is the rear seat that I made. So a set of old broken down armrests, the old padding from a rear seat, floorboard. I kind of cobbled this cart together because I wanted it to be cheap. Then of course this folds down like they normally do, some door hinges there. Just put in a set of new rear lights that actually match the body style of this. Has turn signals, of course, because that's my standard thing. And then it was gas before. Now it's electric. So this was originally a 36 volt. I converted it to 48 volt. I put a 600 amp controller in it. So 48 volt with a 36 volt motor. It does about 35 now instead of, I think it went 10 with the Predator engine in it. And yeah, big difference from before. So something I am going to show you is my little boneyard. Ignore the squeaking. So we've got some miscellaneous roofs covering up some more junk back there. And then this is where I get a lot of my metal stuff from to put some stuff together on tractors or whatever. We've got used tires here holding down the trusses for the new shed that's going to be put up who knows when. More used tires over there. Usually I sell these tires for like $5 a piece, otherwise I'd have a lot more. Like this one, well actually not so much this one, it's kind of worn out in the middle, but if they're almost new looking, I sell them for $5 a piece just to get rid of them, and then people get some cheap tires. Otherwise, this is my metal area, like my reusable metal if I want to build something for a tractor or who knows what. These are actually cargo boxes from the back of carts. This is my used whatever, and there's a broken MST or a broken down rear axle out of a Craftsman. And then here's the rim off of that Hydro. Definitely great shape. Looks like brand new still. So that's going to end it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's kind of a long one, but I think I covered about everything. Thanks for watching.